There's a lot of things about the movies. Remember when they were doing the sword fighting? Well, instead of coming from here and striking, they cocked the weapon. That gives the other guy plenty of time to see where the sword's coming through. And you don't do this. You go right for his head. Bang! Because then the guy can block it. If you don't, the guy says, oh God, where's it going to go? And he gets clipped. So once you hit the guy, bam, then he recoils. Grab a shinai here. And so you watch the movie fighting with swords, it's a little bit different. Now I come in real hard, I go for the head, bam. Now watch him cock the weapon. Now I cock the weapon. Oh! No! I lost, it was too close. So it's a whole different world than real fighting. Real fighting would be like this. Bam. Bam. Don't cock the weapon. Real fighting comes in here. Bam. Bam. See how quick it is? If you're coming very fast, he's got to knock that weapon away. He just lost his hand. Okay, coming at me. See? Bam! But my weapon's already cocked. Now it comes back. Now he doesn't stand a chance because I didn't let him bring the weapon back. When you watch a lot of handwork in real fights, come through, he comes, bam! I can push the weapon. See, but I'm going to get out of the way because I couldn't hit him in time. He's got a handgun because I'm out of the way. You'll notice the stance, it's 90. It's straight. Without these proper stances and learning how to get into them, you can't do this work. That's why you take some martial arts. Okay, a warrior has nothing to do with martial arts. He learns martial arts and different ones to prepare his body to be a warrior, to fight. So it doesn't make any difference which martial art you learn because it all depends on concepts. What is the concept here? Don't cock the weapon. Bam! It's already cocked. When you use the classical form here, you come straight through. I want to cut that hand. The reason for this hand is because if that hand's cut, this sword will continue this way. I don't have to worry about it. If I cut this hand, bam! Uck! I get it. I'm going to die. The trick is not to get hurt. If you want to start a fight and you go to cut and he blocks it, you have to be very careful. I don't want to get cut. That is why you see this hand here, here. I don't want that hand cut. And I don't want to get hurt. So a lot of times I will stop attempting to hit him because I'm going to get hurt. He's going to die. I can see it before the second move because I know where his body is. You fight with your body, your heart, your soul, your mind, whatever you want to call it. Even without the sword, attack, a direct overhead attack. You step through. You don't really need the sword as long as you don't get hurt. And the other one here, when you see it, you can see where the cut is. Now we call it run, gun, fu. Okay, I don't want to get hurt. Yeah, well, I run faster than he does. I use an awful lot of stick work. You'd be surprised what a little stick can do against a Japanese sword. If he attacks me at slow speed, please. Come through. See the cut? Bam. See my hand? I'm going to hit him right in the knee. And then come down here and drop him on his sword so he doesn't cut me. Okay. Another one you can do here is you just throw the stick at him, then kick him, run. Okay, works really well. It's called old age and treachery. You don't want to do this, and you see this in the movies, overhead. Bam! Cut through the stick, right through your head, down through here, and there's a whole world of hurt for the day. Okay. But if I see him coming down, straight over, I turn and hit. Okay. Watch the sword go by. Whomp. I don't like that. Bam, bam. The Philippines designed stick fighting. They teach their children to fight with weapons long before they lose their fist. You watch your little kid. First thing he does is pick up a stick and hit his friend. Yeah, yeah, because he doesn't like him. He doesn't want to hurt his hands. So you teach a kid how to fight with what he's got. Then what you do in the sticks is use a pattern of 3. 1, 2, 3. So if I use it using that technique where the sword comes in, 1, 2, see the push away? 3. Okay, so it's a 3. The Filipino forms are the only ones that use 3. Mind, body, and soul. Also, they do not a lot of music, and they use a lot of rhythm. They feel that music, go ahead, is the rhythm of life. Bam. Now, you don't see this movement too often. Turn it here, because you turn the palm down. There's a reason for that. When I turn my hand, it's the easiest way to close my hand. I want to catch the ear. If I'm really lucky, and if he looks over that way, I'll catch the side of the mouth, rip it. It gives him a whole bad day for the rest of the day. Then I can take the sword. If he's got one hand on the sword like this, and you come through here this way. I got the sword. If you can't reach it from that side, you come from the inside. Then you use the other arm. Come through. It's called Reach for the Moon. You probably saw that in the End of the Dragon with Bruce Lee. That's his move. It's called Reach for the Moon. It's called look away and look at your hand. It's not like this. It's look away, look at your hand. And again, stance. You have to have these. You don't stay in that stance. You don't go, whoa, big man. That is the way you're going through. Get out of it, because you're steady in one spot. If you've got a guy like in a wheelchair, he can use a stick. I prefer the gun, but you can use a stick. Ladies that have a little trouble carrying a weapon, you can carry a rat tail comb. It's a dagger. Sticks out about that far. Makes a very sharp imprint, particularly in the ear. You have a little girl about this tall. You don't use force against this attack. You say, oh, please don't hurt me. Stick your little finger up his nose, crook your finger, and pull it. The guy's in a whole world of hurt. It's extremely painful. And you guys go, yes, ma'am, well, yes, ma'am, how much do you want? How much and where? Little things like that, you got to remember. The warrior is in the heart, the soul. It has nothing to do with you can't see. My young lady that I have with me has been taught to shoot a pistol. I used a steel pie plate. I put electric clicker behind it. I stood behind her with a little radio thing and goes click. She can now put 5 rounds in a 22 automatic in the face of that almost every time at 20 feet. Okay? So just because you can't see, she can defend herself. You put her hand on you, she knows where you're at. I've also taught her these stick forms. These stick forms. You guys were teaching, do you see me do the stick forms? This is no castanata form. It's very, very simple. And it takes about 4 or 5 months to learn properly. And you have it for the rest of your life. And it never changes. This is the first form. 1, 2, not so fast. You can see it. Now watch how I start to move my body. And I'm learning how to breathe. Bam. Now you'll notice there are places where he can hit me. Yes, there are places I can hit him. But this also teaches my buddy not to hurt me and me not to hurt him. It's called trust. So we teach our body by trusting your opponent won't hit you. This one here. You hit. Now watch the hip turn. Then double strike. Come under. Strike. Hip turn. Strike. This is pattern number 2. Okay? The other one looks just like it, but there's a different movement to it. You come down to the ground, Now, from here, look to your back. Snap your head back again. Okay? Turn. Watch my wrist before you come up. That was a very critical movement. I'll tell you why in a minute. Here. Not only fast enough to be able to block the other man's stick, but it teaches you how to use a sword. Because when you strike at somebody and you miss them, you have to turn your hand and bring the sword around. Also, if you have a machete, by the way, machete is Spanish for French and German falchion, which was a single-edged medieval sword. You turn it. Use your body to stop the weapon. You're up here and go, oh! And try to stop this 2.5-pound piece of steel. You try to get more sophisticated. You say, well, I'm not strong enough. Turn the weapon. Stop it with the body. Oh, it's already cocked. Bring it back. Okay, so this movement here teaches you how to use a single-edged sword. Okay? Now, see him look back? It also teaches you to fight in pictures. You don't look at the guy. You look at him, you look over here, you look there, you look there. When you look back, I can see what's behind me. Nothing's going to move or change in a second. Bam, 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 bam. I can tell where everything is. When I go to strike him, I'm looking at my target, and as I strike, I'm looking somewhere else. I'm looking over here, and I come back. I know where it's going to be. I don't have to look directly at him. But once in a while, I have to take a glance. If you look at something directly, the cones in your eyes, which see color, are very highly concentrated, and you can see little things. That's why you focus down. But you can see movement here faster and quicker and more accurately than you can see movement here. So let's put the edge on the side of the person. So you learn to look in pictures. Bam, there he is. There's his head. I knew where it was. I can hold that in my mind, that picture, for almost a second. So I'm skipping. Remember the old flick? Oh, you kids wouldn't. I forget how old I am sometimes. Flickers in the old days. You run movies by hand and go. You remember the old black and white with stuff? That's how you learn to fight. And that's what this concept in this form is for. You look, you've learned a sword cut, you've learned the concept of fighting in pictures. Okay, the reason for this one, and you see the hip movement, is because you get out of the way of a falling piece of sword, stick, staff. So I'm here, I turn my hip. This is the center of the body. This is where everything moves from when you twist and you turn. Okay. Watch it in one called abanico. Come through, strike. Watch the body turn. I'm not moving my stick very much. I'm moving my hip. Where they picked this up from was in 1680 when the Spanish came in. It's a rapier cut. Let me have a weapon. Yeah. We do it this way because we're close and we're with sticks. And we want to do it for health, to turn and twist the body and make our organs work. The rapier cut comes from here. Now, when you turn your hip, it lifts the blade over the other man's and cuts him on the other side of the face. You cut from here. He blocks it. Bam, it comes in again. If he's quick enough, and very few people are, to block that one, cut him again. It's a rapier cut. And they didn't learn it till 1680. This one we call sometimes a street fight because it's a double strike. You have to watch, slower. Double strike. From here you can pick up a form called Chino Wally. The movements are the same. Stuff. That's the whole form. You saw me do the 12 strikes. What that does is teach your friend, here's 12 strikes. Come on. I'm going to strike him 12. One here. See him, the blow? Here's the second blow. Now I'm going to come lower. Come lower. Now, poke to the stomach. See that movement there? That's a whole different thing with your stick. Have to bring it back. Now I'm going to strike to the neck. That's called a wing block. Come through. You notice how just fighting this way is also moving my body. Leg. Leg. Bam. Good block. Come through. Strike to the temple. Strike to the temple. Overhead smash. Watch his movements. He doesn't stay where the stick is going. You teach him, get out of the way. Don't be where the sword is. Sword coming here, move here. When you watch Tai Chi, you watch these movements. And they're sitting here, and then they pick up this toe and turn. Come here. Put your stick right up here to my face. Watch what happens when I turn my toe. Watch where my face goes. Bam. It is the quickest, again, and the fastest way to turn your body. The rest of my body hasn't moved. Okay? So, you also have what's called an inside block. Here's karate. Oh! What for? I'm already all the way to short. What am I going to hit him for? When I come through here, I reach up and keep him going. Old age and treachery. Old age and treachery. A lot of time you see this coming and goes, ah, don't hurt me. My God. Watch your face. You should also learn to become an actor. Ah! You know, you're dead. Frighten the guy half to death. Ah! My God. I'm going to bleed all over. The guy runs. It's a lot of fun. You also see Tai Chi like this. Come through with bare hands, please. This is, there's the block, there's the strike. It's a strike. If he's up and he's really tall like this, then I hit this nerve here, right there. Okay, right there. Bam, bam, bam. See? Now you see him do it this way. I'll show you what that's for. It's a stomp on the toe. And also, if you miss it, bam, and it's ready for your kick. See, it's already cocked your weapon. When you see Tai Chi like this, there's a reason for all this. When he reaches out for me to grab me, I'm not there anymore. Okay. Tai Chi doesn't have to be done slow. You wearing armor?
Not yet.
Okay, wearing armor. I won't hit him. Bam. Okay. Oh, slow. Now, don't let me push you back. Okay. From here, I'm down. I'm down under his weight. I'm pushing him up. What do you weigh?
230.
Okay. I'm like about 160. Because I'm pushing up over his balance. That's the reason for these stances. Okay. They look stupid. Okay. Another one, like when, watch this one. When you come down, I'll show them the movement first. That's how the form goes. Let me show you what it's for. Do it slow so they can watch. The guy grabs my wrist and pulls me. Then he's run out of balance, so he lets me go. Thank you very much. So you see this movement. Tai Chi. You don't have to do it slow. And they don't strike with a fist unless they want to be blocked. They'll strike like this, and the guy blocks it. Oh, thank you very much. I like that. Boom. And they strike this way. Believe me, it's got power. Let me use your hip. No, I won't. Okay. Hear my breath? I'm doing it very loud so you can hear it. Okay. I'm kind of old, and I don't want to expend any more energy. I've got the ladies at night to worry about. That's what I use the third battery for, you know. That one's for Dad saying this one's for the heart. So, you use the breath. Also, when you're fighting, you got time, you're going to retract, breathe in. Karate teaches you to, and there's nothing wrong with it because it works really well against a bully that's not been trained. Come over here, father. Right there. Karate teaches you to strike this way. Bam! The same technique. I don't want to hurt my hands, so I do this. Oh, thank you. Okay. When he comes in, you go like that. Oh, don't hurt me. Oh. Okay. Sorry. What I did was there's a little muscle right here. You can't hurt him, right? Well, that can be right over the heart. So what you do is you make the heart go, the guy goes, oh, I'm going to die! And that's when you hurt him. Think. He doesn't understand that. But now you got about a second and a half. Kick, kick. Now, grab this one. Ladies, if you have trouble with the men, carry a rat tail file. A rat tail file or a comb. Have you ever seen a comb with a little point out there?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it only takes that far into the ear to kill. Oh, yeah, scramble it a little bit, too. That helps. Yeah, a guy goes to put his hands on you and put them down, grab the comb right through his hand. Won't do any permanent damage, but he'll remember you probably for the rest of your life. Yeah, well, he's not likely to bug you too much longer, or else you just sick somebody else on him. If you really want to hurt a guy and he's really giving you a bad time, put your little finger up his nose, crick your finger, and pull it out real quick. It hurts real bad. Okay. This is old medieval history stuff that these people have known for years and years and years. And when we do martial arts, you'll see this. Oh, hard stuff. Break that thing. Unfortunately, guys like this, I go to hit him, he moves. I can't break him. And if I get all extended like this, he usually hits me right in the mouth. Oh, or that's fine. He's going to break my arm first. Yes. This one. Absolutely excellent weapon. Oh, that's a good one. That's metal. The other thing you can do from here is across the back of the hand. And he goes, ouch! And puts the rest of it in this way. Have you seen the movies where they fight like this? And they have the hand out? That comes directly from safety strike off the Filipino forms. It's done that way. Steven Seagal did it because Tommy Lee Jones had never taken up knife fighting, didn't know how. So the easiest and quickest way was to teach the Filipino safety strike. And all the movements you saw here, you do those, you're not hitting each other, you're not clipping, you're not stopping, but the movements are there, and as soon as some guy goes, what's he doing? Bam! In comes the knife. This is an effective way of fighting. It just, unless you can turn your knife fast enough, you've eliminated some of your range. It's like a lot of things. You give a little, you take a little. The girls usually take money. Well, what was it? Ogden Nash, one of my favorite, candy dander, but liquor's quicker. But these things here are an extremely effective weapon. Also, the police won't put you in jail for carrying it. And you can carry it in a bar. You carry a nail file in a bar. A nail file is a small dagger and can be used as such. You'll see the older people, thank you very much, with a very large brooch pin. You see it on capes, and the pin sticks way out. It's supposed to prove how big they are. No. You want that thing when you take it off and it goes deep enough to go into the heart, right under here. Wiggle it about a bit. These are weapons. Anything's a weapon. It's a weapon. Here is the weapon. Okay. Again on Tai Chi, I'm a real strong exponent of this because I believe it's given me a longer life and other things to do. Let me show you the form. Here. Anybody want, they can come along and follow if they like. We start like this, and we breathe. Watch my hands. They're relaxed. They're normal. This is a fighting form, by the way. Comes up, relaxed. See how it rolls? The concept in Tai Chi is the circle, the inner circle, like you're a ball. Now you sink. You keep the back straight. Sink. Straight down. Lift up. One leg. Put it over. About shoulder width, maybe more. Whatever's comfortable. Tai Chi itself is changeable. It's eclectic. Has been for years, like 1400. Again, comes up. Breathe in. Breathe out. Take a glance over to your left. As you're looking to your right, this hand comes down. Toe comes up. Come through. And push. Now you notice my hands are staying the same distance to my body. Now, when I don't push away, I drop the body back and leave the hands where they are. Looks like I push forward. This is called lady plays lute. To strike. Come through. Okay. Leg comes up. You don't always have to go as far as I go or as deep as I go. It just takes a while. Push off. That's the next opponent. Here he comes again, this way. All right, he's coming in real close. I take this one, get in tight, push him. Now, leave my hands where they are. Strike again. Hurt him twice. This whole movement's called single whip. By the way, it's an arm break. Again. Lady plays lute. Turn my feet. Come through on a 45. This is a shoulder strike. And I'm striking with my body, my hand. This is to protect my face. I don't want to get hurt. Comes up. Sweep this guy behind you. Oh, there's somebody coming forward. Okay? Come through. Okay? Now, from here, take your weight off this leg. Drop down. Bend from the waist like you're a pivot. Reach out. Come back. Left hand comes under. Comes up. Oh, lady plays lute on the other side. Get him again. This is a very important one. This one is called brush knee step. I've forgotten a couple, but it's okay. I'm just going to show you about the fourth of the long form Yang style. Come through. This hand comes up like this, then comes over. You can see what I'm doing. I'm pushing away a kick, or I'm blocking one. Okay? Now, pick toe up, push. One more brush knee step. 3 of them. Because the next one is a whole completely different thing. As you bring this hand around, bring this one up high. Make a fist here. Stomp. Push down, stomp. Okay? Bring in, come through, hand comes up, and this is the strike. You notice how this part goes forward, then it comes down. You're striking down into the internals. Don't use Tai Chi on a friend. Too many problems. Come through. He's blocked it, okay? I'm going to grab his arm, push it off. This time I'm only going to push him. I like him. Usually I would strike him. Okay. I'm going to end it right here, so I just bring it down, bring it up. Without going further into the form, I'm going to show you one that is very popular and used in Tai Chi an awful lot. It's called brushing wild horse's mane. Very useful movement. And the other side. Come here. See? When I'm going to brush wild horse's mane, I come through, I step here. I don't have to be slow. Now I'm going to do it slow so you can see it. Okay. And he's not letting me do that. If he lets me do it, I can't go through the form. You must have a friend that can fall on this stuff without getting hurt. Okay? That's brushing wild horse's mane. We do it this way in the form. You can't do that in a fight. We're overextending, we're doing things for health, to let us learn our body how to move properly. You do it the other way, you go, oh, I don't like here. Wham! Okay. Pump. And you reach out and hurt him. You know, little things like that. Tai Chi, you must be careful of once you're into it. You don't want to use it on your friend if they're just drunk. The problem with it is it does sometimes lasting damage, internals. It's a very destructive form of martial arts. When you see the old men practicing, don't mess with them. If they know how to use this stuff, the principles, again, are in the ball. I'm holding a ball. When you practice sometimes, you'll practice with a ball. You'll be able to tell it's there because your hands get warm. Feel it. Come through. See that ball get bigger? It's still a ball. I can tell when my hands are in the proper position. If I do this, they get cold. You can feel the form. You can feel it move. Some people make a psychic thing out of it. I think it's just mechanical, but that's okay. I don't care. Now, I'm going to throw this one away, but I've got the ball right here. I bring up the leg. I've got the ball right here. Bomb. That is the form. It's within the form. You can play with it. You can do anything you want. You want to step over there? Step. I'm going to change direction. Take my toe up. Step. There. Bam. Bam. I'm going to hold the ball here and go down and thread the needle. Come up. What I'm doing is protecting myself from blows coming in. I'm pretending there's somebody over there going to hit me. I just blocked his arm. Okay? Now he's still going that way. So I straighten my arm, let him run into my fist. In this case, my open hand, because I have a crippled hand. A lot of times I don't like to hit like this because it hurts. I learned as a young person after 3 mistakes, don't hit a guy in the side of the head with your fist. Breaks your knuckle. Breaks the finger. Breaks the wrist. Now I got a crippled hand. Bummer. Learn from the mistakes of others. There just ain't enough time in this world to learn them all yourself. There just ain't. Tai Chi is very, very healthy. But if you take it up only as a health-giving thing, you're going to lose 2/3 of what it can do for you. 2/3. Breathing. Come from here. Open. The hips go forward. Very important. The spine. You breathe from here. You can breathe very fast from there. Mouth, nose. Doesn't make any difference. Just get the breath in. I never let all of it out. I never give a complete ki like I'm breaking a board. Because what happens if somebody else hits me from behind? If I got no breath and I'm breathing in, I'm locked. What locks your breath is when you get struck when there's no air in. You're gasping for breath? Wrong. You got breath in there, but you're not letting it out. You're taking it in. Don't get struck when you're taking the breath in. Get struck when you're taking the breath out. Stomach-wise. Ah! Okay. Even here, even me. Okay. If you're really lucky and the guy doesn't hold his hand right, he can break his wrist. You notice boxers have their hands taped? That's so they don't break their wrist. It's called natural fist because that's where your arm goes. That's the easiest way to break your wrist. Karate teaches you this. Bam, you straighten these bones. Strike, you don't break the wrist, you don't break this, you don't break nothing. Go boom, and you hurt him and not you. Okay. Sometimes it takes a little time to do this one. So if you haven't got time, you strike him. You break your wrist, but you hit him. Aha, you don't want to break your wrist? Tape them up. That's what boxers do. Western boxing is an extremely good martial arts form. Very good. You just don't teach you to kick. They used to. If you follow the Queen of Marksbury's rules, they allow any kicks above the waist. So the old boxers kicked. Remember the old guys that stand out like this with bare fist? Don't knock that form, because from here, the fist comes here, and it's very, very quick. It's like a snake. And it's bare fist. They hurt. We use gloves. Bare fist boxing is not what people think it is. You hit the guy 3 or 4 times, he's almost dead if you make a good blow. But these are trained. If you have other people that just hit you, they're probably not going to hurt. I'm trying to show you the application of Tai Chi. When you see these forms, they're not strict. You don't have to follow these. You do when you're practicing alone. There's a reason for looking over your shoulder. You want to see if there's an opponent there. Just a quick glance. You come through. The foot goes out. You push. Now you see, you could have changed it. The guy's coming in. Stomp on his foot. Oh, that hurt. So you could have struck him instead. Or he could have wing blocked. You'll see this in Tai Chi. You must be eclectic. When the fight happens, you must use everything you can. But the forms give you the ability to move properly. Remember, it's all in a ball. That's another thing you must remember. The breathing, never get hit when you're breathing in, only when you're breathing out. Strike. Okay? Come through. Single whip. Now, I don't have to hold that position. I can do it again here. Bam. I can do it again here. Bam. The body movement is the same. But the form is how you learn it. Then you work from there. This is very useful, believe me. I've had that in about 5 or 6 street fights. This has worked. The guy grabs me and goes to pull me. He's drunk. I'm not going to hurt him. I don't want to. So I let him pull me. He's off balance. As he comes forward, you push him away. Take him down very nice and gently. You don't have to hurt him. Okay? Now, if you want to hurt him, that's a little different. And this is my uki. If you're in judo, uki-tori, one guy attacks the other and the other guy goes down. That's him. He's student. He gets the stick in. I'm sure some of you people know about this. So if he grabs my wrist, pulls me through. Now, this one I want to hurt. So when he comes back and he's lost his balance, I turn my hand, grab, and I stroke the rooster's tail. See? That's how it really works. If you really want to hurt him, take him lower, pretend his face is a brush, and try to clean the concrete with it. Tai Chi has kicks. You'll see them, particularly in the sword forms. When they come through here, he'll kick like this. Kick comes up, comes in. One of the nice things about this kick, if you want to teach somebody to be real spectacular, take a 2x4 about this big, teach a 92-pound young lady how to break it with her foot. That's one of the easiest way to break sticks. Okay? If you do it this way, it comes in, twists your ankle, and hurts you. Sometimes it snaps back and gets you right in the shins. So you learn from the mistakes of others. Not enough time to make them all yourself. Okay? So, and you can, let's say you're kind of crippled up like I am. You come from old age and making mistakes. You can use this in Tai Chi. I know, you wouldn't touch that one. You'll see cloud moving with the sword. Hey, that's a sword. Doesn't have a sharp edge. Pretend somebody took the edge off, see? That's a sword. Use Japanese style. Use European axe. Bam. He blocks it here, this comes in, clips him right across here. Bonk. Okay? Pull it down. Make sure this point towards the inside of the knee. He blocks it here. Comes through, hits the knee. Very vicious weapon. I like this one. But in Tai Chi, you're hurting. Doesn't make any difference. You can't kick the guy. You can strike him. It takes just that much move. Catch your balance again. Oh, step under. Click him again. If his balance is really bad, take it and push him down. Reach up underneath and poke it in his mouth. Hi, fella. Okay. Really vicious weapon. See, you don't have to use it like a cane, you know, like this. Also, when he comes around, you can kick the cane. It goes up and hits him. He grabs the cane, and you got two hands on the cane, give it to him. Hit him a couple of times in the mouth. Drop the cane again, pick it up, and hit him back here. Okay. Then the preacher comes and says, oh, I don't know what happened. I think he fell on something. Remember, when this happens, too, as you're looking around, you look at the cut, you step back and put your heel on his hand and break a couple of fingers. Oh, you're hurting. Oh, excuse me. Bap. Oop, I didn't mean to hit you in the mouth. Okay? This is a game in justice today. You got to watch yourself. If it doesn't look like you're trying to hurt the guy, you're okay. If you're just a fumbly old fool, you broke his hand and stuff, and he's got a couple of teeth missing, and he got a hold of your cane with his mouth. Okay? Let go! You take a couple of teeth away. No problem. Okay. The application of Tai Chi. Tai Chi is a martial art form that we know goes back at least 1,400 years. The last writings that we can ascertain are only 600 years old that have been translated. And it's also an eclectic form. You see the Chen form comes down from the Chen family. You'll spot the Chen form very easily because they'll come through and they'll do a little hip twist. The Yang style has it too, but they don't do it unless you're fighting with it. And that hip twist jerk. Yeah, he's forcing me. Okay. That's where it comes from. Bam. Also, when you see these forms, they aren't just open-handed push. Bam. Ooh, sorry about that. I didn't mean to. My student likes to hit me as often as he can. Also, you know, you turn it down. No, and the guy's going to give you a bad time. Like this, yeah? Bam. But keep a hold of him. Because if you don't, you lose it. He comes down, his weapon's cocked and he can hit you. He can kick you. He can really hurt you. Also, when, let's say a guy's going to overrun me. Do this slow so you don't get hurt.
Oh, sorry.
Bam.
Oh, sorry, slow, right?
That's all right. You pull him down. But let him fall on your knee. Leave one knee up. And he gets, make sure he falls on one side, because when he gets sick, you don't want to vomit on you. It's really bad news, okay? And then when you do this, make sure the hand comes up here, like this, so that you can get up, like here, bam, see? That's what you want to do, like this. See my foot? And he gets pissed, and yeah, they lift his head, help him up, see? Tai Chi is very vicious, very effective form of fighting. When you come in, and he goes to push me on one shoulder, push back, then pull down. Push, pull, give, take. The concept in Tai Chi is to destroy the man because he's trying to hurt you. There are attacks in Tai Chi. You'll probably find them later on when you learn some of the weapons. They have short knives. They have long weapons. In my bag here, look at one of my little swords. Some of these older men, it's right in the bottom, all folded up. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, these things in their back pocket. You don't think much of it until the guy comes up and you said, "What, sir?" I call it my snub-nosed sword. You know how you carry a 38 when you're walking downtown? And I carry this. Now, it's not very sturdy, and it will collapse. May I have a man with armor? Yeah, here. It will collapse. If you do this, slippery stuff, isn't it? There. It collapses. So what you do when it's out, poke him in the eye. You know, tap him up there where you get his attention. Or along the side where you got a knee, where you got a bone sticking out. Okay. He gets really ticked at him. Reach around, use it like an axe. Bam! There it goes. It comes right apart. It's that easy. They do this all the time. I just put them back together again. That's why I carry two of them. See? Bam, but he's been hit by this axe alongside of the head. You can always get into one of those things. They're 23 bucks. See? That's right, I got another one in there. There are no rules in Kung Fu. You've heard the word Kung Fu. You've heard the word Gung Fu. Yeah, it's the way people talk. Kung Fu is northern China. Gung Fu is southern China. If you hear the word Silam, that means young forest. When the Mongols decided to get rid of this hotbed of political activity called the Shaolin temples, and they were a hotbed of political intrigue. They were an entity upon themselves. Wonderful people. They had religious priests, they had fighting priests, and they had scholarly priests. Okay, sometimes the twain would never meet, but you couldn't be an abbot unless you were one of all three. You could be just one, you could be two, or anything. But you couldn't be the abbot unless you were a religious, a scholar, and a very, very good fighter, sometimes the best. You'll see stories of the old white eyebrow system, which came down through Korea and started most of the systems they have now. Yang-Tudu, Hapkido, some of those forms, they come from the white eyebrow system. The old story from the 1400s is there were two people, very good friends by the way, who fought to become the abbot of this very large monastery in northern China, one of the Shaolin temples. One lost. He decided to leave the temple and to continue his learnings with something new and something else. Then he would go back and try his skills against this man, his friend. They were not enemies. And in the wanderings, he came down through Korea. And you can see about 10, 12 years, and then he disappeared. And then there was a changeover in the power structure of that one particular Shaolin temple. We assume it was that man, I don't know. But it's called the white eyebrow system because he had long, white, bushy eyebrows and white, gray hair, even though he wasn't that old. And sometimes people will salute from there with the left foot forward, or this hand, or this. That is because the man was left-handed. That was a remark of respect for him. Sometimes people will change the forms of their salutes, whatever you want, to recognize an old master. In some of the salutes of the old Chinese, I'll give you one. Okay? That means I was taught in northern China. I believe in the southern form of political intrigue. I'm from this school. I'm your friend, and thank you very much. Okay. It's a formal salute that came from around 1800. That's just from the Boxer Rebellion. The Boxers were the Kung Fu people who wanted to take over their government so that they could force the British not to bring opium in and give the drugs to their people. That's what that uprising was about, by the way. They want to get rid of the last of the emperors, run their own country, and tell the British you couldn't bring opium in. British made most of their money in the European or Asian countries by selling opium, done in India. You ever see the movie Taipei? When they do that and they fight with the bailing hooks? If you ever get a chance to see that, that whole thing is over the enforcement of Americans to come in to take some of the dope money from the British. Been around for a long time. Tai Chi was designed to be able to fight with no weapon as a martial art to protect yourself that anybody at any age can learn. Filipinos say, well, they got to grow up before they can do this. That is true. That's why you don't see too many Chinese people, little young, except just recently, being learned weapons. The Filipinos teach weapons first. They teach the stick. Now, if you've ever seen safety strike, and you'll see a lot of Tai Chi movements in this, it just happens to be form follows function. I bring it in. See him block? Okay, cock the weapon. Cock the weapon. This is so we can fight together. You'll notice it's a pattern of 3. The third one, of course, he's doing his number 1. You're dead. The trick here is a chess game. You move the body, other man's body, where he can't get away. Try it again, your attack. Boom, you're dead. Don't do that attack, please. There! Now I got to cock the weapon. Abanico. Oh, I'm dead. Watch what happens. There it is. He got my body out of the way. You don't have to do it fast. Now using the same techniques, let's watch how the Filipinos do it with their fists. Slow so they can watch it. 1, safety strike. You don't have to do it fast. Okay, one more time, please.
You got me the first one.
Okay, one more. That's why so many of those movements and the forms are so strict, so that you can't get the kick in, so that you can't fight. Okay. You can see the movement. You can see the forms. Stork cools wings. Stork fights. Snake comes in. You can't hurt too much with these, so you'll hit for certain areas of the body that have nerves. Monkey, come through. The trick is don't let him see where the blow is coming. Good solid, okay. You'll see this. Watch when he tries to come in with regular fists. That's what it's for. Okay? That's to screw him up so he won't see that kick. Dragon kick comes through here. Bam! Dragon tail. Girl in tight skirt. Got to learn how to do this. That's what this kick's for. Because you're hobbled. Okay? Okay, Grebushinai. If you use that safety strike technique, you can play with these swords like this, slowly so they can see it. Bam, I'm dead. I should not have made that move, see it? Bam. The trick in sword play is not to get hurt. Not to hurt the other guy. Every movement, every strike is to kill your opponent. But don't get hurt. If I'm going to attack that sword, which is stupid, I'm in a whole world of hurt. See, now you'll notice I'm dead. I should not attack here. Okay? So with a stick, you have to be a little bit different. Bam. You have to get in. Okay? So watch a lot of times I'm turning, the toe comes up. Tai Chi. Movement. It all form follows function. Go ahead. Underneath. Go ahead, keep fighting. Now I've got him. No, he got out of the way. Bam! You got to get past the knee. You'll see me fight real low. I'm short anyway. That gives him a lot smaller target to hit.
Can I fight with someone younger, like Methuselah?
Up! Get out of here! I have a lot of fun at this. Okay? When you're with a sword and you're unarmed, you really have to be careful. But here, I'm protecting myself. This is not as critical. Can't hit me. See my knee? See my leg? I can hit him when I hip. I can strike here. Bam. When you come in, you'll see this movement. Believe me, in close-in fighting, this one really works. Come here. Now, I've used it against people in full armor. Come here. Chest, please. Ah! Okay? Slow. Ah! He's off balance? Okay, now if you want to hurt the guy, he comes in. Hold this arm. Bam. Kick. Kick. That didn't do any damage, but it allowed me to do this. Okay. Here's the grip. Okay. Called dragon grip. Okay, now I'll show you why I like it. He pulls it away from me very easily, but he also pulls my fist into his mouth. This one. These are the fastest fingers in your hand. That happens to be the strongest one. That's why you ladies use this one up there. If you get in a fight where a young lady's been trained by me, you should watch yourself, because she's been trained to stick her little finger up your nose, crook it, and pull. Really hurt. Okay? All right. Anything? Yeah, anybody want to ask any questions about Tai Chi? Say it again?
Do you accept students too?
I do, but it's much better off to learn from somebody. It doesn't make any difference which forms you learn. I'll teach out here. Which forms you learn, the biggest problem is your teacher. Your teacher should have this. He doesn't have to be the best at this. As long as he's striving always to be good and to be better. And he coaches you how to be a better person along with fighting and along with Tai Chi. Tai Chi will keep you healthy. When you're moving down here, you're moving properly. You won't have any trouble with your bowels. You'll go ahead and smoke for a while. But if you want to continue, you're going to be cut. I think I'll quit. No, I'll go back to Tai Chi. Okay. Or you can learn to breathe with one part of your lungs. Only breathe with this part of your lungs. Don't breathe this. You learn body control. Yeah, I accept students, but I have about 5 that actually have their own martial arts schools. And I'm more into the concept and how it does. Maybe I should tell you a little bit about me. I'm an actual old cowboy. I believe in my horses. I really have a lot of fun on them. I ride as often as I can. I like the 50, 100-mile cross countries. I intend to compete again in dressage, which I really, really love. But to me, a job where it takes my horse, I hate walking. I've had 3 breaks on this ankle. I've had 2 breaks on that foot. I've gotten these ribs welded together, lost one. I've broken my back. I had 3 ribs taken off the vertebrae. I have 3 vertebrae that are solid. That's why you see me, oh, God, that hurts. But I do it. I have arthritis. I've been broken up. I've had knife cuts. I've taken 5 bullets out of my body. Believe in becoming involved. If I see a few people attempting to rape a young lady, and I know that I'm going to die from it, I'm still going to do it. I am the most important thing in my life. That gives me the right to make the decision to help take care of somebody else. If I intend to give my life for something, I want it to be an honorable, useful thing. And that's how I live my life. I take students, but I think you should learn a form first. Okay. Hello, Dragon. Gentlemen, this is Dragon, some of the fighters. Dragon, these young gentlemen are from the schools of them. I speak highly of any teacher who has mannerly, decent students. I care not his skills. I care what kind of student that man has put out. What, can you trust his students? Not him. Of course you can trust him. Maybe not. Some of our most strongest villains through the years were martial artists, perhaps not Chinese, perhaps not Korean, but boy could they shoot a gun. Boy could they use a sword. Boy could they use their 6'4" powering warhammer with lots of armor. Kill! That was the nice thing about the knights back then, is they could do anything they want, you couldn't do anything about it. Until somebody invented the common crossbow that any peasant can pick up. When you take a longbow, it takes a long many years to train a man to shoot a man in armor and kill him. It takes about an hour and a half to teach a man to pick up a crossbow, hit a guy in the head from 50 yards. The crossbow was sacrosanct by the Catholic religion because anybody could stop these idiots from telling them how to live their life. One of our major things that we have in our democracy is the ability to carry and have a weapon without restriction. Do you know that was started in England, which is now one of the most restrictive about weapons? Every Sunday you had to bring your bow and arrow down to church, and you had to go to church, by the way, by law, or whichever church the knight decided you should go. Come down, set up your targ, T-A-R-G, which is a round shield, step back, and practice your bow and arrow work. So, they didn't have to have a standing army. They didn't have to pay these guys all year round. They had an army on call. So, you had to teach your people to be able to have and use a weapon. I wonder where democracy came from. Actually, the start was in Roman times when you have appealed judicially to Caesar. You get in trouble, you don't like what the judge says, you appeal to Caesar, and he must, if you are a citizen, hear your case. So there's the start. And the Chinese, and they carried the ring on their weapons. You saw them, the big weapons with the ring on the butt. Well, it's because the common person couldn't have a weapon. But these villagers didn't have anybody to protect themselves. So certain people in the villages were allowed to carry these weapons. Have them, not carry them. And a big ring fit over a peg right next to your door. That's what it's for hanging a weapon up. Because you couldn't have a sheath for it. They felt if you had a sheath, you could carry it around. If you didn't have a sheath, you had to carry your weapon openly, and they could see you, and they would shoot you with a bow and arrow, or ride over you with a horse. Common person couldn't own a horse. Common person in Japan wasn't able to ride and own a horse till about the 1700s. Their swords, by the way, in Japan were double-edged, looked very much like Chinese weapons and European double-edged blades, until about probably 900. They started over in single-edged weapons. They were called camel swords. And many of the forms and movements they fought with were the same as you'll see the broadswords done by some of these gentlemen here. But they broke, and they couldn't take the punishment. And the Japanese started building different swords. When you find a sword that the Mongol uses in the cavalry out of probably 850 when they started being very good, it was straight with a little curve on the end. And it came through. The Koreans were a lot Mongols, not as strong. The kuk so, like Japanese sword, except it's straight. And they put double handle on, because they weren't as strong. Japanese said, that's fine, we'll do that. One of the forms when they tried to take it, they got beat really bad. Come back, broken swords, and not feeling too good. The Japanese swordsmiths say, our honor is at stake, and they start building really good stuff. Now we're talking about 950, 1,100. That's when the Japanese sword started to become what it is. And they started getting little curves. Okay, and there's a standard curve. And that's what you see the katana is now. Well, some of these katanas, if you call them tashi, they are bent on the tang. It comes up like this. The target comes up straight and curves again like a crooked saw. You know what? That's the guys that rode horses. You carry under here. When you're sitting on a horse and you got it through your belt like this stuff is in your way. So you carry it down here, low, down, and back so it doesn't foul the horse's back leg. You pull the blade out. Boom. Okay? Now there's a problem when you're riding a horse. Let me have a sword here. I'll just use one of these. They can see it. When you bring your sword out, and here's your opponent, and you're riding along, doing about 25 miles an hour, and you swing, and you miss this sucker, and you hit your horse right side of the head. Pump! The horse goes down. Now you're doing 25 miles an hour. His head goes down first, thump. You come over the top, the horse lands on you, the horn comes in here. Usually breaks 3 ribs and welds you up if it doesn't kill you. Okay? You're in a whole world of hurt. You should not hit your horse in the head while riding down swinging a sword. Now the Chinese said, aha! And they picked the sword up here. So they don't do this. They come down and they cut it to 45. Gets right here. If you miss your opponent, turn your sword back into the dough. Comes up alongside the horse's neck. Cut up again at 45. If you'll see some of our old cavalry saber forms, and they used to have forms for teaching this, you'd see this. Guess what? It's around the horse's head. All these movements are designed to teach you not to hit your horse when you're riding. He gets really ticked. Also, you're in a whole world of hurt when he goes down, believe me. All right, what do? You take your sword, turn it upside down. The sword is curved. The sword is sharp, 8 inches. It itself, it's a spear. Inserts itself in the body of the bee. Cuts its way out as you go through. Your hand, yep, you got a sword in your hand. By the way, when you're on a horse and you go to cut things, don't tie it to the wrist. Because if you do this, the carcass up here, your hand, and you, and everything off the horse. And there's a body with the swords, you know. You can't get rid of it. Okay. So you see the guys going, oh, you're wrong. Smart. No. You want to get this guy coming down here? You don't do this if he's level. You ride here with your sword level. You're doing 25 miles an hour. You punch him. Now your sword's doing another 15, 20 miles an hour. Now doing 35, 40 miles an hour. The edge of the sword, and you hit the guy. Boom. And it's curved. As it goes by, it's a big curved razor. Cuts. And you still got your sword in your hand. You use the sword to come up real tight and go bam! Right on top of the head. That's why the little things are here. Sometimes you find a little nut. That's what they're for. When you see the Tai Chi forms, they're delicate. They're quick. They'll come here. All right, see that one? He's going to turn in on and cut. He'll cut from here, strike, come through. Make a snake, come under. Bam! You can use it with these. But these are awful light. All you got to do is this. Whack! Okay. Get your sword. Get the saber. The saber, please. No, not the mask. I won't strike you. Okay. There is no weapon like this in the whole world except for sport. This is not a killing weapon. It was never designed to kill. Yeah, you can kill with it, sharpen with it. You poke the guy. Bam, bends. Doesn't hurt. Cutting. Bam. Okay. If he hadn't lifted real high, if he lifted here, my blade would have bent and swapped it him on. This is a sporting weapon. The targets are not the legs, but from here up, because they assume you're in a horse. So, we fight like this. Okay, fight at speed. See the technique here? Bam, 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 bam. Any martial artist can do this. This is a martial art. If you use the foil, yeah. All right, this is a gentleman thing. Okay, you don't hit the face, but the groin in here, anywhere that can be covered up by an undertaker so nobody can see he's been hurt, here's your point. Get the point? Never mind. Now, it's called an orthopedic hand. Because I have a crippled hand. I can't fight with a French foil. I practice with one. So when I come through, I attack, then push off. I can't go any farther because he has the point in my way. Come under, come through, full lunge. Got him. Go through this slow so you can watch it. Come from over there. Step over there, please. Now watch me attack. This is done slow. I extend my arm. I'll explain to that later. Step forward and lunge. But I kept my hand high so that I don't run into this. Now he will come back at me. Bam. I come into fourth, come under. He stops me. He comes back. I get out of the way by retreating. Comes forward and comes through. You see the disengage? I disengage to the other side because he was pushing my blade that way. It's all done at speed. Okay? Body only, please. Get up! At speed. I use my voice to help me accelerate. Yeah! So! Missed me. He blocked it. That's a stoppage. If I hit his arm, that is not a score. Everything stops. We'll be doing some of this for real with some of my friends here. Just to show you how it's done. I bent my arm again because he put my point out of the way. It's a chess game again. Got me. He just missed the point, but he should have taken me there. Okay? In the épée, the whole body happened to be the target system. Yeah, thank you. Now it's face, foot, and chest, arm, everything. And the arm is usually kept it out more extended like this. Because what I want to do is cut that arm. He can't touch me. I poked his arm. The duel is over. That is why this is the traditional dueling weapon. First blood. You don't have to kill your opponent. In the old days, sometimes if you killed your opponent and he had children, you got to support his wife, find her another husband, you got to educate his kids, and you got to pay his debts. Think you know? If it's for honor, I'll go stab him in the foot. There, I won it. There. Now, he lost his honor, see. But he saved his honor because he fought against a naked point. Called honor system. That's where the duels come from. Most duels were done judiciously. In other words, they were to prove that something had gone wrong, or to prove a political point. I wish we had them back. Now, well, maybe I don't. Okay? Duels became individuals' combat for personal armor at about 1585. It was that late. Maybe earlier than that, the French. Of course, the French don't care what they do as long as they pronounce it properly. It's just the way of the world. They're different than almost anybody else. Okay, any more questions? How you do this? Do you want to watch some of the real fighting? Bring them on! You, Dragon, you're up and up front. You are. What? Don't give me the what. Come out here where I can introduce you. Where I can introduce you.
Okay. Hello.
This is Dragon, my middle-aged friend. He works at Hollywood, does some things, and he's a stunt fighter, and he does a lot of stunts.
Yeah, I get to fall down for a living. I get to get killed for a living. They set me on fire. They blow me up, blow me down, blow me every which way they want to. They kick me through windows. I've been the world's largest ninja. This one friend of mine saw me, she saw me in a movie, and she said, I recognize you. She goes, you were the size 12 ninja. And I was like, okay, thank you very much. At least I know some people will see me. I do a lot of stuff in Hollywood. I make props and stuff, and I make just about everything. Weapons. If you guys have watched Star Trek, Babylon 5, Deep Space Nine, yada, 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 you've seen my work. I make the Klingon weapons on Star Trek a lot. All right, first thing we usually do when we're teaching somebody a little bit of this stuff is you point out that A, this is the edge of the sword. This is the most important part. Because when you're really sword fighting, your job is to try and avoid hitting the edge of the blade. Try to avoid hitting the blade at all, usually. You're trying to hit your opponent. When you're doing stage fighting, the object is to hit your opponent's sword, edge to edge. Because that's what people really think is happening in a sword fight, okay? No, usually if you're blocking, okay, that's when you're getting here. You're hitting up here. This is when hopefully you're striking back at your opponent. He and I have been doing a little bit of stuff, and part of what we've been doing is I'm just starting to teach him certain forms, certain moves that we play with. So you do things like this, and you start working your speed up. See how exciting that was? Well, that comes later. Okay. Now, first thing you're doing is teaching them, A, that they can move it with you and they can get used to doing it that way. You teach patterns. And then you start teaching things like cues. Now, when you're really sword fighting with someone, first thing you know is you're not going to give away what you're going to do. When you're doing this kind of fighting, that's the one thing you want to do. You want to tell them that I'm coming to kill you, okay? You want to give them that little bit of cue that says, look where I'm going, okay? Sometimes you do little things where they go, ah, and they can't figure out what you're going to do next. So you step back a little bit. When you do a lot of shows, I do our live shows for like kids and stuff. I've done stuff like that. We did live shows during the summer, horse shows, where we had horsemen and swordsmen going against each other. I actually did one show where I was a Moor on the ground attacking a guy on a horse. We did this great thing where he rides by with the lance, and I've got my shield right here. He hits the shield, takes it into me, and I do a rollover with it, come back up, and chase him down and pull him off of the horse, okay? Now, the whole thing about that was I had to really trust the guy with the spear, okay? Because I'm giving him a target. My job is to stand right there and give him that target. When you're doing sword fighting and this kind of stuff, it's the same thing. When you're in a real fight, you're trying to get out of the way. With this, it's more of basically just trying to block your position, okay? But it's got to look like you're attacking your opponent's body. Because most times, when you see what looks like a really phony sword fight, is when you see everybody meeting the swords, they're pushing to meet the sword. You've seen that, right? When they look like they're going, oh, did I hurt you? You know? It's, yeah. Okay, so you've all seen that kind of stuff. All right, now what the next thing that I'm going to do with another friend of mine is, now he's had a little bit more training and stuff. Dave is just starting out, but actually he's getting his stuff down fast. Little Dragon over here has a little bit more experience in it, so what he and I are going to do is an impromptu live fight. And what we're going to do is feed each other cues, we're going to make mistakes, but we're generally going to have doing it, okay? So what you got to understand is this. Both of us are conscious of each other's safety. The first thing we're going to do is if he's going to wear that sword blow, swing it back and go again. Won't complete the strike, or I might swing it by him. This stuff is like playing a chess game. What?
Come over here. What? I have such a deal for you.
Oh, okay.
There's a beautiful woman over here.
Uh-huh. Where?
She's my sister.
Your sister?
She wants you.
She wants me?
You're very handsome, very strong, and very, yes.
How much for the girl?
200 drachmas.
Oh, I do not have...
Hey. What?
Well, yes, of course. Oh, I just said that I don't have the money and...
You're pissing me off.
No, it's not my fault.
Immediately. Instead of apologize, you dog, or I'll cut your heart out.
Now see, now that's not where you get to where you go, you know, I don't like him anymore, so I want to chop his head off. Okay, now, I understand. You are not with me.
You have. Hey!
first thing is because yeah, right, whatever. Now, so, what should I do with him now? Should I let him live, or should I hope it doesn't kill me with that thing? Go ahead.
Got the microphone.
Right here. Oh, I'm... Okay, so now we come to the end of the fight. I didn't read it, mister. He's really pissed me off. So what I'm going to do, of course, I'm going to chop him. Now because I'm a big guy and I'm arrogant, I think I can walk it up to him and chop him, as usual in the movies, right? He's on the ground, he's scared, so... Ah!